Hey, how's it going? The last two OSRS updates have been related to buffing skilling, and both updates had changes to gnomes, specifically for pickpocketing them. The first update reduced the fail rate of pickpocketing gnomes, and it gave a chance to get a medium clue at a 1 in 200 rate. Then, a week later with the following update, the next buff reduced the fail rate even more, and it made the medium clue drop rate 1 out of 150 instead of 1 out of 200. I'm pretty sure gnomes have been irrelevant content for forever, really, so it's cool to see them getting some changes that might make them more relevant. Well, hopefully. That's what I'm going to be testing out in this video. I'm going to find out how much thieving XP you get per hour and how many medium clues you can expect per hour, and explain how those numbers compare to other methods. First, let's go over the requirements/recommendations. Now, the only thing that you need to have, the only requirement is 75 thieving to be able to pickpocket them. For recommendations though, first would be 99 thieving, because besides a higher level helping, wearing the thieving cape gives you a 10% increased success rate. I'll be wearing the max cape, which has the thieving cape perk built into it. Next, we have Dodgy Necklaces, which give a 25% chance to prevent you from being stunned and damaged, along with the Shadow Veil spell, which gives a 15% chance as well for the same thing. And these two do stack multiplicatively to give you a 36.25% chance if you're using both. With the Ardougne Hard Diary, you get a 10% increased chance to successfully pickpocket, and you do not need to have the cloak on you for it to work. If you don't have the Ardougne Hard Diary, you can use Gloves of Silence to give you a 5% increased chance, but if you have that diary done, then the gloves don't do anything. Regen Brace is nice to have as well for the 2x HP restore. What you shouldn't use though is the Rogue's outfit. The Rogue's outfit doubles your loot, which does not give you double XP for, by the way, but you don't get 2 medium clues at once. You only get 1, even with the Rogue's outfit. And most of the loot that you get is going to be dropped, so it doesn't make sense to have to do twice as much dropping. Speaking of dropping, let's take a look at the loot table for thieving gnomes and go down one by one. So first, about 43% of the time you're going to get king worms. Those are a drop. Coin pouches/coins, those will stack in your inventory. Swamp toads, drop those. You're probably an Iron Man, so for the gold ores, maybe you'll want to bank those because this is so close to a bank anyways. Earth runes, they'll stack in your inventory. Fire orbs, again, if you're an Iron Man, maybe you'll want to bank those. And then we got the medium clues. Even though you can't have multiple of a specific clue tier at the same time, due to a somewhat recent update, when you drop them, they'll stay on the ground for an hour. You can re-drop a clue to reset its timer. The timer is also paused on logout, and no matter what world you hop to, the clues will all still appear for you on the ground. So as long as you don't have a medium clue in your inventory or in the bank, you can keep getting more and drop them as you go. And then maybe every hour you can do all the medium clues in a row rather than leaving each time you get one. Before I get started, there's a few things I want to show you how to set up regarding RuneLite plugins. The first one is to turn on the NPC Indicators plugin. And when you do that, you can shift right click on the gnomes and then tag all. And that way you can highlight all of them so you can see where they're at a little bit easier. And also the menu entry swapper plugin, make sure that's turned on. It allows you to swap menu entries. So again, if you shift right click, you can switch the left click to be pickpocket rather than talk to or attack. It might be a little bit easier to, well, there's so many options here. If you switch the style to be whole instead. Yeah, there's multiple types of gnomes, so you would have to do that for each type if you want them all highlighted or looking the exact same way. So we got our left click set to pickpocket. There's one more thing I want to do. I need to get a couple of the items here. All right, for the 2 items, I'm going to be dropping the king worms and the toads. You can shift right click with menu entry swapper and swap your left click to be drop, and then you could do the same thing for the toad as well, make the left click drop. So now you don't have to hold down shift when you drop them. There is something really nice about the king worms though. They heal 2 hit points each, and the gnomes deal 1 damage when you fail. So if your health does start to run a little bit low, you can eat the king worms. Although now I'd have to right click to eat them, so I'm going to make the shift click be eat. Something I just remembered is having the Regen Brace. I'm going to go back and put that in the intro because I didn't do that, but you will have already seen that. The Regen Brace gives you 2x hit points regen, and the hit points cape, which I have built into the max cape, also gives 2x HP restore. So we're going to have a total of 4x HP restore per minute. And with all that said, I'm going to reset my thieving XP. We'll reset the loot tracker for the gnomes, deposit this loot into the bank. Also very important to make sure that you don't already have a medium clue in the bank. This is not a medium clue, by the way. This is just my bank tag layout plugin. It's just the icon I have set for that. And we'll get started with 1 hour of thieving gnomes. I'm excited to see how this is going to turn out. When I get stunned, can I bank? There's no delay. That's cool. Yeah, when you get stunned, that's the ideal time to drop the items or bank if you have to. I mentioned that the king worms heal 2. The toads actually heal 3, but you have to remove the legs first and then eat them. Doesn't really matter either way, you're not going to be taking too much damage here. I was wondering how the earth runes kept disappearing from my inventory. It's because the Shadow Veil spell uses earth runes and it prioritizes the ones in your inventory first. I was like, I swear I dragged the earth runes down there, and it happened like 3 times. I figured it out. Oh, medium clue. I figured it out though. In fact, if you do get this kind of setup, instead of dropping all the worms and toads, you could just bank them and drop them all at the end. But it's only if you get this setup right here next to the bank. Otherwise, probably stick with dropping them. No, I got those like almost back to back. The 2 clues. So I missed out on one because I'm already really lucky as it is so far anyways. I mean, 3 clues in 160 or potentially 4 when I should have only had 1. That is very, very lucky. You may notice that once you get a full inventory, it doesn't stop you from thieving and the loot goes on the ground. But I heard rumors that you can't get medium clues to appear on the ground if you thieve like that. So I'm just going to be dropping everything, but something to keep in mind that they probably, well, they might change in the future. It seems like something that they would change, but as of right now, I don't believe that is the case and that you have to have at least 1 open inventory spot. Something important to know is that even at level 99 thieving, with all the possible perks you can get, you will still fail sometimes. Generally, with NPCs that you can still fail to thieve at level 99 thieving, it's not worth your time doing them until you're level 99. This goes for things like Vyres, Elves, and Czar as well. Of course, you can and should still thieve them without 99 if you enjoy it. You should always do what you enjoy. But I'm letting you know that from an efficiency standpoint, it's not worth your time, and you'd be better off doing fast XP methods to rush to 99 first. As we're getting close to the end here, I want to mention before I forget my health. At the start, I was eating to upkeep it, but I quickly realized that I don't really need to eat food, in fact, and at this point we're like 50-ish minutes in, or over 50 minutes in, and I'm still at 80 hit points. So if you have the Regen brace and the max cape, you will really not have to eat food. Okay, it is time to pause the tracker. That is 1 hour of thieving the gnomes. Let me redrop all these medium clues I have on the ground before anything else, because, you know, the 1 hour timer, just want to make sure none of them despawn while I'm talking. Okay, 154k thieving XP in the hour. I got 7 medium clues on the ground. You can see there's the 7 medium clues in the loot tracker. It should have been 8 because of the one that I messed up on, but this is 7. How many would I have expected though? I did about 1200 pickpockets. Oh, that'd be 8. You would expect exactly 8 in 1200 pickpockets. So in terms of medium clues, I was on the rate. I did bank all the fire orbs and the gold ores. So for Iron Man, if you're curious, there's that. And then the GP per hour from the coin pouches was about 80k. In terms of dodgy necklaces, I brought out 10 with me for the hour, and I went through 6, basically 7. I kind of forgot to equip it a few times, so I probably would have gone through 8 in the hour. So that'd mean, whoa, wow, 1 dodgy necklace per each medium clue on average, it sounds like. I believe there is a plugin that you can get warnings or notifications from, probably this one, pickpocket info. So let's see that. Let's see what that looks like. Yeah, if we turn that on and then check it out, there's a lot of settings in here you can mess around with that to see when the dodgy necklace is broken and whatnot. Before I go over the comparisons to other methods, I'm kind of uncomfortable with all these medium clues on the ground, so I'm gonna get these done before I go back to yapping away. The great thing about waiting to do all the clues is that I don't have to keep on re-gearing and emptying out my inventory for every single time I get a clue. I just get to gear up once, and then when I run back here, because I will still have to run back here to get the clues, I don't have to change anything with my inventory this way. I got the 7 caskets done, and I was timing it. It was 18 minutes. Basically exactly 2.5 minutes per casket. So if you're getting 8 medium clues on average per hour, then for every hour you spend thieving the gnomes, you're going to have to spend 20 minutes doing the clues. Because you would expect 8 medium caskets from 1 hour of thieving, and I mean, I kind of was supposed to have 8 because I messed up with that one. I'm going to take a medium clue out of my clue stash. And no, not the type of stash you're thinking of. I'm talking about this medium clue stash. So now we have 8 caskets to open. Now it's time for the most important part of the video. No, not the clue opening. This is where we compare how this method fits into the macro picture of account progress. As a reminder, the benefits of this method are 150k thieving XP per hour and 8 medium clue scrolls per hour. Ignoring the fun and enjoyment factor, because again, you should always do what you find fun, but we're simply going to be looking at efficiency here. If you're a main account, medium clues are 0 time to collect, collect because you can buy implings off the GE. So you can ignore that aspect. And then there's plenty of thieving methods that net more than 150k thieving XP per hour. So as a main account, thieving gnomes is not worthwhile. Now we get to Iron Men. Realistically, the average Iron Man is going to cap out their thieving XP at 250k XP per hour. That would be about a tick perfect hour of Ardougne Knights, or a non-efficient, like a normal hour of someone doing Pyramid Plunder who's not trying super hard, which I think is representative of 99% of players. So we're going to go with 250k thieving XP per hour being the opportunity cost, which means thieving gnomes is already 0.6 of an efficient macro hour for an account. And that's without even having looked at the clue aspect yet. With gnomes giving 8 medium clues per hour, as long as 8 medium clues is 0.4 of an efficient hour, then collecting clues makes gnomes at least on par. This means that in order for your clue collecting method to be more worthwhile, you'd have to be able to collect more than 20 mediums per hour. And for every clue less than 20 that you get from your method, that makes thieving gnomes more and more worthwhile. The best way to get medium clues on an iron is catching eclectics in Puro Puro. I did a lot of that method before clues had the 1 hour despawn timer, so when I did it, I averaged like 6.5 clues per hour, but that's including the time spent completing them. I haven't caught eclectic since they added the despawn timer, but I just did a bit of research. I think it might be like 12 per hour if you do it that way, especially when you take into account that it's further of a run to get back to each clue. And with the time spent collecting impling jars or jar generators, I think 12 scrolls per hour is a fair comparison. And if we're going by 12 clues per hour as the opportunity cost, that would make gnomes a 0.66 of an hour for clue scrolls, which means in total, for every 1 hour worth of Ardougne Knights and Puro Puro you do, you could be getting 1.26 hours worth of time by thieving gnomes, which makes gnomes the more efficient option by about 26% going by all these assumptions I've laid out. And I know there's a lot of assumptions being made here, with the really big one being the fact that I'm doing this on a late game iron. I can't calculate out every situation for each individual person based on their stats and quests that they have done, but hopefully you can use all the information presented to you in this video to help you determine whether or not you think it's worth your time to thieve gnomes based on the position your account is in. And again, there's so many variables, like maybe you value GP more, so you'd rather do knights, or maybe you still have to get 1 more scepter from Pyramid Plunder, or you're trying to get 5,000 lizardman fangs, so you'd rather thieve stone chests for medium clues. There's so many possible variables, but the enjoyment factor is probably the most important one. So at the end of the day, do what you enjoy, because burning out and not playing the game is less efficient than playing the game inefficiently. Okay, for real, one last thing I want to mention before doing the clue opening is that you can get the thieving pet from thieving gnomes. Depending on your thieving level, it's about 1 in 107k per pickpocket, which means it's going to be about 100 hours of thieving gnomes to meet the drop rate for the pet, which means the Rocky pet would be equivalent to about 800 medium caskets. With all that said, I got 8 medium clues to open. Let's see if we can get a second pair of ranger boots for the GIM team, or at least any new collection lock slots would be nice. One more, or okay, 1 more now. Wow, dang. Well, maybe it's for the best, no spoilers for the GIM series. I hope the video is at least able to provide a little bit of useful information, or maybe it kept you entertained for a bit. Either way, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope that you have a great day, and I will see you again next time.